Hello everyone, this is Kevin T. Rodriguez, film critic of iCritic.net, and I was reading an article on Forbes yesterday from Paul Tassi, a contributor to the website, titled "The Nintendo Switch Needs Virtual Console to Fill in its Release Gaps ASAP." In the first paragraph, he writes, "I too am experiencing, quote, that awkward moment with the Nintendo Switch, as my colleague Dave Thayer put it yesterday. It's when you finally convince yourself you've done enough with Zelda Breath of the Wild, and now none of the other current releases really hold your attention, from 1-2 Switch to Super Bomberman R and the like. I expect this moment to last quite a while, as I don't particularly care all that much about heading back to Mario Kart, after I already spent a ton of time with that on the Wii. ARMS may be good for a short while, but I don't expect it to really have legs. Really, I'm just waiting for Splatoon 2 this June." And he goes on to basically say how he wonders, where is the Virtual Console? Because here's the thing, the Wii U was not successful. It was many things, but it was not successful. But one of the secret weapons it had, and many people, myself included, are surprised Nintendo didn't exploit it more, was the Virtual Console, because people love old Nintendo games, and here it was. You could get all these games on a Wii U. It was great. I bought several myself. I would probably continue buying more, and yet the Virtual Console did not launch with the Switch, which was definitely disappointing. Now, it's promised to come at a later date, but we don't actually know when that date is going to be, and unfortunately, we're kind of at the point where this could be a critical time in getting it. Because here's the thing, the Switch is very successful right now, yes, but it's largely successful for one game, which is Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. And the problem with that is that it is one game. I was actually talking to a friend at church yesterday, his name is Zach, for the record, and he admitted that he was putting off finishing Zelda because he didn't want the game to end, and admittingly that is a very Zach trait to have. Now, I told him I was putting off finishing the game, but for a very different reason, and that reason is because it dawned on me that while we always hypothetically say, I will buy a game console for this one game, I actually did it for once, and I don't know what to do with this machine once that game is finished. If the Virtual Console were around, maybe that would give me something extra to do, but it's not. And so until Mario Odyssey comes out in June or July, or heck, I'm going to assume it's going to come out in October, then I don't know what I'm going to do with this machine. And the Virtual Console could really help with that. And it could help with the average consumer as well, because the problem that the Switch is going to have, and it's going to start having very soon, is that people are going to be looking at the Switch, and here's the thing, it's not really on store shelves yet, so right now there's still some demand for it. But once it's readily available, if there's only one game really on it, the average consumer is going to say, I'm not going to buy this for one game. The Virtual Console could help this. It really could. And I know that Nintendo's probably working on it. I'm not saying that they are holding it off on purpose. I mean, maybe it's just not ready for prime time, and we'd rather it be ready for prime time than not ready at all. But it needs to be rectified soon, because you can't sell a system on one game, especially a game that is also on the Wii U. And yeah, I know the Wii U didn't sell a lot of units, but it still has 13 million units out there, and that's 13 million people you're trying to convince to buy the Switch or switch over to the Switch. Ha 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 ha. I'm sorry, bad joke. I could not resist myself. And people aren't going to switch over to the Switch, ha ha ha, sorry, last time, I promise, if the one game that they want for it is also available on a system that they already have. So Nintendo, please, hear my plea, hear all of our pleas, get the Virtual Console ready for the Switch. I think you could really use it, and I think it would help in the long run, and to put it off any longer would be doing some damage that maybe you might not recover from. I'm not going to put the failure of the Switch on not having the Virtual Console, but I am going to put the lack of games on the console this early on and for most of the year as a reason that could derail the system. Honestly, because of how few games there are, it probably really would have been better had they just launched the thing in July or August when they had those games ready, rather than launch it in March when they only had 2 or 3 games ready and no Virtual Console to speak of. So, I don't know. That's my thoughts. What do you think? I'd like to know. Comment below, like, favorite, share, subscribe, and as always, flame responsibly. Have a good one.